Today's exercise will be challenging, even though it looks simple at first glance. That's why we'll first go over how to do it. Then we'll talk about why it's worth mastering. I recommend putting in a few hours of practice. Sacrifice maybe even dozens of sheets of paper. You'll learn more than you'd expect. The task is simple. Paint the entire sheet with a smooth, light blue, flat wash. No blooms, no streaks, and no hard edges. It's better to paint on a slightly tilted surface. If you paint on a perfectly flat surface, puddling will occur, which inevitably creates blooms. Brushwork. Apply the paint as gently as possible. Touch the paper lightly. If you press and scrub with the brush, you would have to do it equally across the entire sheet, and that isn't easy. There are different ways to paint a flat wash. With a large brush, you can do it in just a few strokes, but we'll save that method for when you're painting a room. We want to work with a smaller brush. You don't need a pretty-looking sheet. You need to learn to control the brush. With a smaller brush, you'll paint more slowly, and that creates a problem. The paint must not dry, so you have to work fairly quickly. Work in rows. Try to maintain the most even speed possible. Apply paint to each area for the same amount of time, using roughly the same number of brush strokes. In practice, it helps to keep a slightly larger bead of paint just below the area you're painting. It needs to be large enough so the paint doesn't dry, but small enough that it doesn't start running down. Let this bead form along the entire row you're working on. When you reach the end of the paper, move immediately to the next row. In the new row, overlap slightly into the previous row so it doesn't dry. But in that upper area, try not to scrub the brush against the paper anymore. It's very likely your first attempts won't turn out nicely. Practice again and again. Pay attention to where you made a mistake so you don't repeat it next time. You can also try painting the wash using a different technique. Every attempt is welcome. If you can paint the wash with very precise, fast brush movements, that's fine. It means you already control your brush and you don't need more practice. And if it's going suspiciously well, pick a smaller brush. Every way of practicing will teach you something. You can try different brushes and different paints. Every paint behaves a little differently, and I also mean the difference between painting with blue versus red. There are differences between brands as well. For example, a blue paint from Schminke will behave differently than a blue paint from Umton. The only way to internalize these small differences is to try again and again. For this exercise, a round brush is probably the best choice. A smaller brush is harder to control. Mix a sufficient amount of paint in advance. While you're painting, you can't stop to mix more. Your wash would dry and you're guaranteed to get blooms. But don't mix too much. Mix roughly the amount you'll use for the whole sheet. That also teaches you to estimate how much paint you need for a given area. For practice, you don't need the most expensive paints you own, but probably not the cheapest ones either. Cheap paints tend to be inconsistent and more prone to creating backruns. Paper is probably the biggest problem. You can't practice on the very cheapest paper. It will curl and buckle. Cheap watercolor pads often aren't well made, and the paper can develop patches and marks. This isn't your fault. Start with inexpensive paper so you can get used to the brushwork. When you start doing better, move to better paper. It's a waste to burn through large quantities of expensive paper. That's why I recommend using the cheapest paper you can for the basics, but still good enough to work with. You might need to paint 30 or 50 sheets, so buy paper that won't financially ruin you. It may seem pointless to destroy dozens of sheets of good paper, but if you don't, later, when you paint your actual pictures, you'll have too little practice. With this exercise, over a few hours of work, you'll learn to estimate things like, how does your brush tend to behave? How long can it hold paint? How often do you need to reload it? At what angle should you use it? How does the paper behave? How does it take the paint? Does it buckle while you work? How quickly does it absorb water? How does the wash change after it dries? What kind of paint do you have? Does it give a beautiful bright color, or does it contain tiny particles? Can you achieve an even, consistent color with it? How much paint do you need to mix? How well can you create a smooth, even wash? All of these are everyday tasks for a watercolor painter. Practice them in isolation. You need dozens of hours of contact with paint to really feel and understand what you're planning. More than once, I've painted a picture and then, after an hour or two, ruined it because I couldn't paint a smooth background. These are exactly the practical things you'll learn in today's exercise. The task sounded like filling a single color area, but that isn't actually the main goal. You'll ruin sheet after sheet, use up paint, and keep trying. It won't work. One time you'll get blooms, another time you'll run out of paint halfway through, and that's the end. Or you'll realize you chose the wrong brush. All of these things seem secondary, but your brain is learning through them. After a few hours of this exercise, you'll probably still have some blooms on your sheet, but you'll notice you're getting better. You'll be able to estimate how much paint you need. You'll figure out how to work the brush so that each part of the paper gets the same amount of time. You'll find you hit the areas you aim for more accurately. And you'll start to control how you finish. These are the much more important things you're learning here. Having a perfectly smooth wash is great, but you can only achieve it through the coordination of many hand movements and planning. And you'll learn all of that through this seemingly simple exercise. If you make a mistake right at the beginning, that's fine. Keep going. Right now you're training your hand, and if something went wrong, it doesn't matter. Number each painted sheet. Later, you'll be able to see how your results improved. One last note. You probably suspect why we're painting with blue. Blue tends to create blooms and backruns. Blue pigments often highlight every uneven area. So doing this exercise in blue is almost impossible to execute perfectly. Blue paint likes to bloom even when you do everything right. That's why very few blooms in your result means you did an excellent job. Thank you for watching this course. If you enjoyed it, subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. See you next time!